Hey guys, it's Loki here. Today I'm going to be doing the shield bash jumps on King's Row. Hopefully I can teach you something new about how you can play Brig, or possibly even how you can defend yourself against Brig. Okay, so for starters we're going to start off with this little balcony here. As you can see, you can't jump this gap. What you would do instead is just jump off the balcony onto the bus and shield bash across, as you can't jump this gap. Or you can do the opposite and... Okay, there's no way that you can actually jump up like that, and to get back up you just need to shield bash. When you're standing from this spot here, you can also jump over the fence like this. Then you can also jump across to that little rooftop there from this big red bus. The way that you'll do it is you just want to aim for this pillar just right where the fence is, and you want to be standing as close to the corner as possible. From this spot here, if you're on the attacking team or the defending team, you can jump across to this little rooftop here. And it's a lot easier to do, and you can actually shield bash straight to the bus. Okay, now that we've moved in through the choke, next up is this little jump here where we're going to jump on top of the statue. Not the very top, just on top of the base of the statue. Right up there. Okay, to line this up, you want to get your right foot and line it up with this line, which is close to where the fence is. Then you want to aim at this sign, and you can notice that if you have like the default crosshairs, you can actually just line up the circle with that circle there. Jump and shield bash, and you're up. From up here, you can also jump across to multiple spots. You can jump across to this little rooftop that I showed you before, and vice versa. Now, one thing to note is you can't jump to there, and you can't jump to there, and you cannot jump to there. But you can also jump to another two locations from here. The first one is just real simple, just jump across to here. The second one is that you want to aim your shield bash for about there. So then when you shield bash into it, you bounce across to this rooftop, which is more handy if there's actually a DPS up here. Now for the defending team or attacking team, if they ever get the opportunity for it, is I find it best hold up your shield so you get your third person view, so you can jump on top of this little sign here, jump on here, and jump on here. From here you can shield bash across to here with no problem, or if you wanted to, you can shield bash across to there, and you can also jump up on there as well. Okay, next up is there's these little bushes around this area where you can actually shield bash into them and get some height. Now as you can see, I didn't get enough height because I didn't do this jump correctly, just to demonstrate that they give you height. To do this one, you want to make sure that your back is right up against this, against whatever this thing is. And then you want to aim for right there. Jump and shield bash and you will bounce your way right up. Alright, this next bush right next to it is going to be a little different. You actually want, if you look down at my left foot, you'll see there's like a little line for the tiles. Just line up your shield on that little line. Look at the window frame, jump, shield bash, and you're up like that. You can also do the same jump to reach the other rooftop that I showed you before. Next up, you can also use this bush right here. The way I find of doing it is that I look for this little pole, the street pole right here. Then there's this little line of that tile. So what I want to do is just line up my shield with that little line, make sure that my shield is looking directly at the wall, jump and shield bash, and I'm up. Alright, now for the final jump of this first area is to get up to there. Now, I don't recommend this in a normal game mode. Something like Total Mayhem, where you have a shorter cooldown on your shield bash, is ideal. What you would do is you just jump and shield bash into this little fence thing around the tree, and you'll land on top of this little telephone box. Then from here, you just want to aim your shield bash for around about there. Jump and shield bash, and you'll just bounce up to here. Okay, moving on to the second area, there's not as many jump spots that you can do. One that is very obvious is you can shield bash across to this metal platform and just skip the distance. And the next one can be a bit challenging, you just gotta line it up right, is you can jump across from this platform to that ledge there. Another way you can get up there is you can use this little manhole right here. keep your right foot at the back and your left foot at the front. Look at this little bin in front of you and look more in the center of it. Jump and shield bash, and you'll bounce up like that. So there's this little back alley right here, in which you can actually shield bash into this thing right here. Now it's a bit tricky, and gotta let you know, take down your shield as soon as you shield bash. Jump and shield bash, and then you'll land on top of this. And you do have to steer yourself in the air. The reason you take down your shield is because if you do it again, or if I did it again, you can see, yeah, I didn't make the distance. And that's because it uses your moving in the air actually uses up your actual movement speed. And when you got your shield up, you move slower. Alright, so next up is we can also jump from this little area up here to there. So what you do is you just make sure... okay, I don't have that assigned to any buttons, but thank you. Next up, you just want to make sure you jump right at the corner of this little block here. And you get up like that. And you can also shield bash across that little gap there. Next up, you can also jump up onto that little railing bit there as well. So just get yourself standing. If you notice where my left foot is, try and line that up. Make sure that you're aiming just between this metal bit here and this red pipe. Red, orange, doesn't matter. And you'll just bounce up like that. Alright, moving on through. Next up is the spot that no one would think is a thing, unless you saw the thumbnail of this video, and that's jumping up there. Now this box here isn't anything major for the actual jump itself. It's more like if I'm on defense and the enemy is pushing the payload through there, I can just stand behind this and the enemy team can't shoot me. And it gives me a little moment to line things up and see those pipes there. You just want to aim right there where I pinged, jump and shield bash, and you bounce up here. Alright, so just a little tip is you don't want to jump from too far back, because if your shield is lined up like this, you won't get any height and fall to your death unless you have like another shield bash for whatever reason. It's important to note that if you shield bash at the tip of your height, you won't actually make the height. And you'll just fall to your death like that. Next up, you can also jump across to this little ledge or window, whatever you want to call it, right here, and shield bash back across. And you can also jump across to there. If you consider that you have to jump right at the edge like this, you won't make it. However, what you would do is you jump on top of this box here. Make sure that you jump right at the corner like that, and try to aim for as close to this wall as possible. And you'll make your way up here. So let's say that you're on attack. You've pushed the payload to about here. The whole enemy team has just respawned, come back to point, destroyed your team. All that remains, you can actually escape up there. Now, the method you would do is you'd shield bash into these little boxes here, but you don't shield bash from here. You shield bash off these little stairs and get your escape like this. I found out another thing when I was trying to get like a good pose for the thumbnail, in which I came across these little beams here, which, as you can see, that did nothing because I hit the beam in the center. Well, what you want to do is actually at the height of your jump, shield bash into these bolts here. Now, you can't actually do it with this one, because for whatever reason, it thinks there's like some barrier above it. You can also do it with this one, and if I can ping accurately, and that one there, which, yeah, you bounce up like that, or you bounce up like that. And they're actually very easy to do once you get the hang of when to shield bash. You can also use these nuts and bolts here, like that, and like that. Thank you all for watching to the end of the video. Hopefully you learned something new about either playing Brig or defending yourself against her. If you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate if you could drop a thumbs up down below. It would really help with getting the video out there with the YouTube algorithm. But all that aside, I hope you all have a wonderful day.